We have a large family. We've got 8 children, and they all are married and are starting to have grandkids. I've got 8 grandkids. I remember, this is a while back, we went on a little mini mission trip. I had a friend of mine show up with I think it was 1 or 2 of his sons. And I just thought that was so cool that here's this father with 2 sons doing this ministry together. And I thought, wouldn't that just be stinking cool if we had something like that? I don't know. My second daughter married a young man who owned a company named Vision Construction. And I had just overheard some conversations that he kind of needed a steady person to be there to make sure people showed up for their job and whatever. And I thought, well, shoot, that's something I could probably do. So I just mentioned it to him, and so he brought me on. And I found out later the rest of the story, which is while I'm in there slinging a hammer and demoing walls and hauling trash out, he told my daughter, I don't want my father-in-law doing that. We need to figure something else out. Well, part of his company was a roofing section. So he's flipping houses and roofing and gutters and all that kind of stuff. And so he decided he was going to build that into more of a mainstay business of storm restoration and for me, so that I would have something to be a part of. And that has turned into what we have now as Vision Construction. It's actually turned into a ministry. Several years ago, we went to a men's conference, and it just sort of hit me, we're not just a construction company or storm restoration, but we actually go out and minister to people. It's just crazy. I really see it now. I go out and try to find people that God has ordained for me to interact with and somehow minister to. We're trying to help restore properties back to before a storm, but at the same time, we want to leave it better than we found it, whatever that might be, the community or people that we impact. As you have those things, those God stories, I just started sharing them with people. It's like, I got to tell this to somebody. So I'll call up one of the girls or somebody and say, hey, you got just a second? I got a God story for you. I was just walking along and this person's like, oh my gosh, I was just praying somebody knock on the door and you knocked on the door. It's like, you got to be kidding me. That's crazy. Get involved with somebody. You can't do this by yourself. My heart goes out to people who just show up, put their time in, check the box, and leave. You're missing so much. You need to have people in your community that you can care for and with and do stuff together. Actually, we started our own A2 group on Sundays, and so my boys and son-in-laws, we all encourage one another and do a Bible study. And we had a young man that came on board with Vision, and he started hanging around us, and he became a Christ follower. He came to one of the sessions, and he's a Christ follower. He's part of our family now. He literally, I think he's one of I've got another son now. In fact, one of my sons just bought a house, and this guy's going to live with them, and he's got his own room. And it was kind of funny. We moved in, and we went back and looked at his. His is already done. He's already got his bed and everything. He's like, I haven't had a home or a room of my own for 5 years, and I now have a place I can call home. That's crazy to me. That's just amazing and just to see that happen, and I really didn't have nothing to do with it. I just got to watch it happen. That's very cool. Very, very cool. Trust in the Lord and having faith unshakable faith that God is real, and He loves me, and He has a plan for not just my life, but this legacy that's happening in spite of me is sometimes very overwhelming.
Your unshakable faith and love is making a real difference in people's lives. You help make all this happen through your faithful generosity. Thank you, Westside.